Good morning, Miss Austin, Miss Coleman, Miss Wiggins, Miss Brown, Miss Sampson. All right. See Miss Fredericks, Mr. Rogers, Mr. Bennett. Welcome. See if we get a few more and we get started. Well, we're going to rock and roll what we have right now. So good morning. So being mentally tough means dealing with change. Things happen. So it's a new year. It's a new time. And, you know, things are still out here throwing, you know, darts at you. Because when I got ready to go live, if some of y'all know, I don't know if you've been live on a platform like this, screen comes up, then the video camera comes up. So I clicked the screen and it came up, no video, just a white screen. So did it again, no video. Did it again, no video. Did it again, no video. So then I called Miss Tasha, and you know, she couldn't hear anything I was saying because I guess she was wrapping up her workout. And, you break it up. You break it up. I said, okay. I closed it back. Good morning. I hung the phone up, Miss Spencer. Then I came back to my white screen and I said a little short prayer. Like, why you do me like this, Lord? Lord, so came back right quick. I ain't do that. So I laid hands on my laptop and we here. So we good to go. All right, the topic today is an article that I read about 3 months ago that was on Inc. 500 webpage. You know, I kind of frequent those different web pages and just go down and see some of the best articles that some of those guys write. And this one I saved. You know, I do that. Before I would, before the internet. You know, some of y'all like, it was before the internet. Yeah, some of y'all old enough to know that. All right, so before the internet, if I read a magazine, I would buy the magazine and then I would tear out the 2 or 3 articles and then I would save them because I want to read them later in training. But now you can just save them right there online or copy it. There's a lot of things you can do now. That's one thing that I say the internet has done. You know, the internet is, or in the net. That's what some of y'all say. But the internet has done a lot. That's why I always say it's a blessing and a cursing. We're not going to talk about the curse part. Literally, I should say blessing and a lot of cursing. That's what the internet is a blessing and a lot of cursing. Because If you ain't cursing now on the internet, nobody's listening to you. You know, I got a few people here, but if I got up here every morning, you mother, 1,000,000 likes, 1,000,000 likes, 300 comments falling. Oh, he telling the truth. That's what the world is turned to. That's why all the songs got cursing in it. You won't hear a hit record without curse words. Name one in the last 15 years. Put it in the chat. Name one. So, I don't know what they got to do with I was talking about the internet. Okay. All right. So here's the article. Let's go. I'm kind of. How that help? Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. All right. So the article is called Here's another thing about the internet. When you save something and you start back playing it, you got tons of commercials running across the article. All right. Mentally tough talks about some characteristics of people that are mentally tough. So he says, I don't think mental toughness is something that you are born with. It ain't like you come out as a baby and you like, I'm mentally strong. You know, I got it. He said, I strongly believe it's something we can all learn along our journey. You know, like, you know, you heard the word grit before, right? So this person has grit. Boy, I really believe grit is from childhood. It's just my opinion. And I don't know if a person can get grit. Somebody say grit and mental toughness is the same. I think it's different. And we're going to talk about that one day. But after studying many examples of people and top performers, here are the 10 traits. Number one, and this is what this article says, so I'm not saying this, you know, this is his opinion. I like his opinion, though. Number one, I gotta put y'all to work in the chat because y'all think y'all be going to sleep. What you think number one is? Somebody type right quick. Somebody give me 3 answers before I answer it. What's number one trait of mental toughness? Well, I don't know if it's a number one. It's just in order. It's not number one. I'm just saying it's just in order. Persistence. That's not what I'm about to talk about. It might be on down the line, though. Perseverance. Give me one more. Discipline and focus. We're going to see if those come to play here. But the first one for mental toughness is to be able to delay gratification. Delayed gratification. Most people fail because they give in to temptations or give up to challenges too quickly. Mentally strong people understand how to work hard and contribute more now before they even think about returns, before they even think about what's the benefits of it. I mean, receiving the benefits of it. Psychologist Walter Michael proved the ability of delayed gratification contributes to one's success later in life. In his marshmallow experiment held in the late 60s and 70s, he said that, again, Walter Michael proved the ability of delayed gratification contributes to one's success later in life. Well, is it you got success later in life because you start working later in life, or I think what he's talking about is if you sit down with a financial planner, they're going to draw out your life for you and how much you need to invest. And they'll say, by 70 years old, you can have $2 million if you start investing this every single month. I think that's the delayed gratification he's talking about for some situations. I'm not saying everybody, but it's a rarity that you find people, especially in our community, that start investing at, you might have it now, but before you did, but maybe start investing at 25 and never stop to their 70, investing the same amount of money. That's delayed gratification. That whole same amount of money, not pulling from it, not stopping, saying I need to take some to pay for a funeral. None of that. I got a little friend of mine. He's 21 years old, and he's about to make about 150 grand coming out of Morehouse. And he asked me, what should I do and how should I handle the money? Now, he's one of them guys that is you know, his mama was real fly. His mama bought a lot of clothes. That's where he got it from. So he does that too. And in New York, because he was in New York for what do you call that? While you're in college, they give you this kind of, you know, I'm getting old. I can't even think of the name of that. What's it called? You intern. There you go. There you go, Miss Frederick. So she on it. You ain't sleep today, huh? I'm gonna start telling all y'all, put me a 9 in the chat or something like that, so I know who all sleep over here. So, so he had been in New York the summer before. I actually went up there and helped him move his stuff in to. He lived in Harlem, and he would come down. I think he worked on maybe on Wall Street. Yeah. So we took different ways to go, whether train, the bus, and all that, so we could figure out what's best for him. But I noticed that we went through some stores too, you know, some of the high brand stores and stuff. And I noticed when I saw him come home, I'm like, well, you got some fly New York stuff, don't you? I said, that's where your money gonna go if you don't get disciplined. Your money is going to them clothes because every time you saw him, he had some stuff on that you ain't never seen before. No, I ain't never seen him wear it before. No, I had never seen nobody with it. And I know that's why he did it. He want to be the one. That's how he is walking on campus. So I told him, I said, I'm setting you up with a real financial planner, not nobody trying to pimp you, and they're going to draw out your life. And this is how much money you're going to have to start depositing. He said, how much? I said, I don't know. I'm just saying you're going to have to start depositing that. It's going to help you with your taxes too, because, you know, once you put it in there, it ain't going to count toward your taxes. You're going to put it into a certain program. And so he's like, can I get it when I need it? I said, no. Why would you need it? Your mother don't need anything. And, you know, he's talking about some just in case for emergency. And I ain't gonna, nah. You need to get, and if you get it, you need to get penalized. So if he's consistently do that, because obviously he got enough money, even though New York is a, you know, expensive place, but still, he got enough money to start putting money away at 21 until he's 60 or something. Most folks don't do that delayed gratification, though. I tell you, that's You got to be mentally tough for that. All right, the next one is embrace constraints. Embrace constraints. So we want to believe we have total freedom, and we think more freedom makes us better off. The truth is the opposite. When some people naively want to have all the freedom, happy people embrace constraints. When they want all the glory, successful people embrace failures. When they want to be perfect, mentally strong people embrace imperfections. Embrace imperfections. So when they want all the glory, successful people embrace failures. You know, I talked about how the wealthy people teach their kids to go embrace rejection. It was in the book we read too, by Steve Siebel. They tell their kids every morning or every evening, what did you get rejected in today? Go out there and embrace failure. Go out there and put yourself in those positions to do that. Good job. So I don't know if you heard that. I didn't hear that from my parents. I did not hear that. Go. Matter of fact, my mother used to always be like, I mean, I hate to even say it. She's like, don't, you ain't have to worry about trying too hard. I don't want you to get your feelings hurt or something. My dad's looking at her like, because I would look at him when she say something, he'd be over there like, but that had to come from something, the way she was raised in her family, because that's all we do. We regurgitate what's in our mind about what we learned at an early age. So it took me a minute. Once I started understanding that, then I started understanding her. Before I used to be like, but then I realized where it comes from. And I would talk to my aunt, her sister, and her other sister, and they all would tell me stories about certain situations and, you know, the way they was raised. And so then you can understand why somebody says that to you. So if you in a rich family and you were raised rich, then that's the principles and the thoughts that they had that they're teaching their kids. And I believe if a person wants to be wealthy, copy what the wealthy do. Some people say, I ain't gonna do all that. Okay. Just a suggestion. All right. The next one is now this one is never seek. All right, in the chat, wake up. Put in there, never seek what? Validation. You close, Mr. Bennett. Let me see what everybody else say. You might get the chip on this one. You know. They say close only counts in what? Horseshoes and hand grenades. So I just say we playing horseshoes this morning because I think you're pretty close. The approval of others. Miss Davis has stepped in the game. Never seek what WHDT. Now see, I don't know those little terms. I mean those little initials or what is that? Acronyms. I don't know what. Never seek what? Oh, a typo. Okay. I thought those were little text words y'all use now. But I think I'm gonna give it a tie to Mr. Bennett and Miss Davis. And because y'all say validation and Miss Davis says approval of others. Never seek for permission, which is y'all two right there in the same thing. They mentally tough people own their responsibility. They own it. They never seek for permission and authority. They make their own way. If they make a mistake and hit the roadblock, they suck it up. But that's David Goggins' favorite term. Suck it up. Merry Christmas. Well, if y'all don't follow David Goggins, man, y'all need to follow that dude. That dude is off the chain. He'll take off running at 12 midnight and run 100 miles. He got his wife following him in the car. It could be 0 degrees. He mentally strong, man. I read a book. We might read that book about he came and stayed at the home of, I can't think of the guy's name, but he owns part of the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, he might own the majority of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not sure. But his wife is the lady who came up with the Spanx. You know, the Spanx product. His wife is that, and he is the guy that I think that owns the Hawks. So he met Goggins somewhere, and he was talking to him. He had been following him, you know, and he said, why don't you come stay with me for 30 days and get me mentally strong and tough? And Goggins debated on it for a while, but then he said, okay, I'll do it. He said Goggins showed up at his door out of the blue, had one little tote bag with him, about 5, 6 different pair of clothes that he had for 30 days. And he said, as soon as he walked in, he put his bag down. So let's go. He said, let's go where? We're about to run. Put your stuff on. Let's go. He said, well, how far are we going to run? He said, we'll do a quick 30 miles. He said, what? Come on. He had him doing all kind of stuff throughout that book. I mean, 12:30 at night, he'd tap on the door, him and his wife sleeping. Let's go. He said the guy who owned the Hawks, he said I would never do that again, but I enjoyed them 30 days. He said, because this guy he said, well, even when they travel, he had to go to business meetings in different places like Boston, and Goggins go with him. And as soon as they land, he said, we got 3 hours. He said, I knew you was going to do that. Yep, let's take off. And they start running again. Then they go to the gym and do pull-ups. He's like, how many can you do? 2? Oh, we doing 30 today. See, that will make you mentally tough. When you start doing stuff that you didn't think you could do, and it's putting strain on your body, mentally, most people lose it mentally more than physically. Their mind tells them, like that time I ran that half marathon, which is about 13 miles or something. My mind told me around 8, you done, bro. You don't know nobody even ran farther than that. So you good. You can stop. Who you know ran those 8 miles? That's what my thoughts was telling me. So you can stop. I'm like, I'm not stopping. But to be honest, those people on the side of the road that volunteer and tell you that is what kept me going. That push that people give you. Are you pushing anybody? Are you got people that you pushing and celebrating them and telling them they got it and they good? And do you have anybody like that you need to be doing? Is anybody doing you like that you need to push? You'll keep going when you slow down. It's got to be somebody that's going on the same path with you, which means trying to do something outside of the box. I wouldn't talk to somebody inside the box and tell them to give me a push because they don't know what a push is and they don't know mentally what's going on with you. They don't get it. All right. By the way, I told y'all before, once I got my second win around 11 miles, I told you this little old, it's a little bit, this guy had to be about 70 something, old white guy, little bitty guy, maybe 5'6", real thin. He behind me talking smack. That's what really pushed me to the finish line, because he behind me with his little bitty dog talking about, we gonna walk you down. We gonna walk you down. Like, I heard that voice. I'm like, I'm thinking, who you talking? We gonna walk you down. I looked around, look, old white dude about 5'6", like he 100 pounds with his little dog running with him. We gonna walk you down. I was like, first of all, I was thinking, who was we? And I saw that little dog. No. We ain't gonna walk me down. I'm gone. That gave me all the energy I needed. I couldn't believe that. Maybe I needed that, but I couldn't believe that. That dude, we gonna walk you down. I still see that to this day. So maybe you need somebody that's gonna tell you they're gonna walk you down or something. I don't know. All right. So the next one, focus on fundamentals. Start with the fundamentals. Focus on the thing that matters the most. So, and I would assume that in the BYOB, that the trading would matter the most. I would assume that. I don't think we got somebody yet. We might. Might be Miss Brandy. I don't know. That, say focus on building a team more. That might be somebody goal. So that's what matters. To some people, learning to trade, and as Miss Frederick says, the charts. So she's here to master the charts. So some of y'all might be here to master the charts. And then some of y'all might be here, you said both matters, Ms. Davis? Okay. But focus on what matters, both. Unless you're just here to master the charts. She said, Mr. Fleming, I'm here to master the charts. Okay. I digress. All right. Let's see. We got I think y'all mentioned I'm just saying what you said. She's like, I'm here to master the charts. Okay. Let's see. I think y'all said this earlier. I know y'all did. Oh, you building a team too, Miss Freddie? Okay. Shoot. Okay. I'm back. I'm sorry. I didn't know. So y'all said this earlier, but consistency. I think people said persistence, consistency. Yeah. So mentally strong people are not born to be strong mentally, but they learned along the way. That's why I talk about that in my podcast that I have. I call it Elite Psyche, because the people who I interview are some people that that have had some tremendous success or some success, and I know that to have success, you had to become mentally strong, because you got to deal with all the challenges that comes with it. There's so many challenges that come with success, and then when you have it, you went through that fire. Everybody who wins, and big or semi-big, have to go through that fire. You gotta burn. That's what they do to iron, right? Is it iron or metal? They let it burn for a while in the fire to harden it up. Gold. That's what it is. Gold. They let it burn. Then you got that gold. He says success doesn't come in a day or two, and mentally strong people understand the power of consistency. They take tiny actions continuously and focus on their progress. Like the tiny action of just putting away a little bit of money, consistently, not checking on it, not trying to, you can look to see what, you can do that, but tiny actions continuously, tiny actions that you do continuously, and focus on their progress. They build habit consciously. Habit. That habit is like when you do something for so long that it's just there. It's like a natural thing now. It's not like, it's just natural. You wake up every morning. It's some habits that you do that are good, and there's some bad habits that we have that we need to do. Now, I would say most of the bad habits are like with food. Most of the bad habits are usually with that, but it could be a lot of other things. But I'm just saying that's what most people have. A good habit could be, you pray every day. As Hammer said, just to make it today, we need to pray. Y'all forgot all about Hammer in that song. I think about, what was it, Rick James remake he made? That was the hit. But y'all forgot about pray. All right. This is my favorite one. I talk about this all the time, and I think that most people have a major problem with this one. A major problem. All right. Let's get in the chat. Tell me what they got a major problem with. I've talked about this a lot. You probably forgot because some of y'all don't go back and listen to the old stuff, because that's what the meat is. If any of y'all on here new, you need to go back. It's about 100. No, it's 100. About 75 of them, I guess. You want a hint? Okay. People, let me see, what's the hint? doing things you shouldn't be doing. Why is that? Not, like just, doing things that you shouldn't be doing. You know how the world says, people say, oh, you can do anything. Oh, you can't. You can't do anything. I can't become 7 feet tall. If I could, well, it's too late now, but I would be in the NBA. 7'5". I can't do that. They say, yes, you can. That's not enough hint, Miss Davis. Ms. Wiggins said no. Yes, it is. That's a big hint. Doing things you shouldn't be doing. Mentally tough people accept what they can't change. I don't know about that one. I give you get a C minus for trying. Put this down. Davis got a C minus. But that means nobody else. All right. Self-awareness. That's the problem with most people, man. Really don't have self-awareness. I got a friend of mine now. Well, not a friend. Somebody I know who starting a company in the process of it. I got one friend that's thinking about it, hadn't got any paperwork on it and all that. But this other friend, he is starting his business. And a business similar to ours. He didn't really know that people don't like him. He don't even know that he got a bad attitude. He got a bad, as Trump say, he's a bad guy. It's a bad guy. We don't want bad guys around. You don't realize that. That's self-awareness. You should know. Somebody should tell you, put the brakes on. I said, no, I didn't. I said, she's not really a friend. So go back and listen. Go back and listen. I said, well, he's not really a friend. He's an associate or something. If it was a friend, I would say it and we'd be probably fighting, but he's not a friend. He's like an associate. I mean, you got to narrow that down to who you think really your friends. No, he's not. But so he says, figure out your vision and purpose. Define your own identity. Then know your strengths and weaknesses. Know your roles, know your position, and know your goals. People who are self-aware and are stronger and mentally because they know how to, man, hold on a second. I understand it being cold outside. I understand all that. But if you're going to cook and bake me on the inside, you go set me in an oven on the inside because it's cold outside. Whew. All right. That heat was kicking. People with self-awareness are stronger mentally because they know how to deal with almost every circumstance and environment. Gary V is someone who constantly emphasizes the importance of self-awareness. Yep. Tony F does that too. I mean, that's always in my conversation. You remember I gave you the I've been telling this one for years too. You remember if the finish line was Atlanta, and some people are in Greenville, South Carolina, so they only have a couple of hours to get to Atlanta and finish. I mean, finish and win. Some people are in, if we go up the coast, North Carolina, you got some people in Virginia, some people in DC, you got some people in New York, some people in Boston, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then you got some people in Hawaii, you got some people in Russia. And the finish line is Atlanta. Here's the problem. The people in Russia and maybe Hawaii, for some reason, think they in Greenville, South Carolina. For some reason, they think they about to finish the project. For some reason, which is lack of self-awareness, you're not prepared to do that. You know how you got people, they want to do that? No. Because what they do is they'll see a person, I dress like that, I got those shoes, I drive that car. Yeah, but you ain't built on the inside like that person. You might on the outside might look like that. That person you talking about, they have gone through the fire. They have lost a lot of stuff. They have been upset plenty times. They have been laughed at, ridiculed. They have gone through the fire. You just don't see that. You see it on the outside because like how people say, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. And the other person doesn't realize that. See, that person that looks like her is in Greenville and she in Russia and she thinks she about to win too. No, you're not. You got a long way to come to get to where she is. That's self-awareness. That is what most people don't realize. Because a lot of people just let them go do what they're going to do. You sitting there like, I used to tell people all the time in the building business, and I would do game plans with people. So I have a partner of mine brings somebody onto the team, young lady, nice, very nice young lady. And I would do a game plan with her. And when I finished, I would tell him, man, what are you thinking? I'm not saying don't bring her aboard because she might be a unicorn. She might be something different than but if you look at her history, and we're talking about recruiting, we're talking about building teams, we're talking about getting rejected. This lady worked in a computer company and she was some kind of tech. She had her office way back over in the corner. It wasn't even an office, it was a cubicle. And she sat there every day online. She didn't deal with anybody. She didn't deal with any people. All she does, she's been doing that for 20 years. Which means she really had no personality. And so I told him, I said, okay, you can get her on the product or whatever. I said, but don't expect, oh no, here you go. He said, Like they used to tell me all the time. When you tell them that people say, tell me the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. Man, you negative. See, people don't, that's why I don't even do that no more, especially with ladies. If a lady asks me to tell them the truth about the business, I don't do it. I don't do it. Or I tell them what they want to hear. I don't know. I'm not telling them. Because then they're going to go home, tell their husband, and then their husband going to call me. Why you talk to my wife like that? That'll never happen again. So people who say they want to hear the truth, no, you don't. You ain't mentally strong enough to hear it. You won't take it. If I told you, I mean, the lady I told, she started crying. I'm like, why you crying? She told me, talk to me like you talk to the other guys. I said, okay, no, I'm just as tough. I hadn't fallen for that trick in a long time. You ain't gonna hear me say to them the truth. Like people say, I want to hear the truth. No, you don't. You want to hear what make you feel good. Most people walk around with a stick on their head and say, make me feel good. Make me feel good. That's why you should tell people when you see them, hey, I like your hair or your shoes, but you got to like it now. Don't just be fake with it. That makes that person's day. I like what you have on. If you like it, don't just make up something if you don't, because it makes a person feel better. That's one of our biggest issues is self-esteem. The person you see that's running their mouth all the time, they got this big, strong ego. They got a self-esteem issue. They got a real bad self-esteem issue. You know, the arrogant one that, I do this. They got a self-esteem issue. I promise you that. But self-awareness, people just don't have it. I'm like, how do you think you can do that? How? Just like I know my limitations. I know what I know there's you can grind and try to, but why grind and you know that it ain't your personality? And I swear, that's why they call me, sorry, I can't think of the word, but it's kind of like, man, you negative positive. No, I'm truth positive. Truth is negative to people. Truth is negative. When you tell people the truth, it's negative. You being negative. You don't say, you know what, let me think about that. You know, a lot of times if somebody says something to me, I might snap right back. But then in that same conversation, I'm going to say, hold on, you know, let me think about that. Let me, you know, and I think about it for real. And I ask a few people, they might be wrong, but then they might be right. You know, but people with lack of self-awareness, they don't want to hear too much. Mentally tough people see things as what they really are. Mentally strong people never create stories for themselves. The ability to see a thing as it is, hold on. You shot this Remy, this Hennessy. I literally know a guy who's to go live, and he had whiskey in his bottle, and he would literally drink it. He show up at the meeting with a cup full, 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, I hate to say, he was my guy too, but he passed away. He couldn't stop it. He couldn't put it down. Even if the doctor told him that, but he couldn't put it down. So, I don't know why I said that, but see things as what they really are. Mentally strong people never create stories for themselves. The ability to see a thing as it really requires practice. This is a bad sentence, I think. I think that's probably why I was stumbling on it. Or let me do it again. The ability to see a thing as it really is, requires practice. The ability to see a thing as it really is requires practice. Now, to be mentally strong, you need to stop telling yourself the stories that make you comfortable and hide your true self and reality behind the curtain. Accept the reality and then take action to fight against any adversity. So, when it says the ability to see things as it really is, you need practice. Let me tell you something. I got like 30 years of practice. I have talked to people more than most folks have drank water. I started talking to people. In college, I was talking to people, but I'll say when I took first sales job all the way to now, I would probably say that was 90. So I walked in, I don't know how many offices, cold, had to be relationships. I went to new clients that I had never met before. I sat down with them and I had to learn that person and they learned me, build relationships. And then years up to now, I've been prospecting, meeting people. I've been doing game plans with all kind of people. Because when they sit down and we do a game plan, if we're doing it face-to-face or it's over the Zoom, when I see them and I hear them start talking, you know how it says it takes practice to be able to see what it really is. It takes practice to be able to see what it really is. It takes practice. I've been practicing for 30 years, folks. So when I see you and you start talking, I already know you. You just got a different name because I've talked to 20 people like you. You're going to say, well, no, they different. I'm different. No, you're not. Only difference is you got a different name. But you fit right into that same category of Sheila that I talked to 6 months ago, or Rebecca that I talked to, 2 days ago. I know your type. I'm laughing because my high school football coach, Coach Pettis, rest in peace. Coach Pettis was a special dude. And so I remember one day I left my I left my books in my locker after practice. So I come back down and go into the locker room. Coach Pettis standing out there like this, He was a short, dark-skinned brother, and he was just, a little thick something. He coached the offensive line. He's standing there. And he said, I know your type, Fleming. I know your type. You steal. I'm not letting you back in this locker room. I said, Coach, you ain't seen me steal nothing. I know. That's what makes you good. You steal. Nobody caught you yet, but I know you. I'm like, Coach, I'm just trying to get in here to get my stuff out. You're not getting in here. He said, I know your type, baby. I know your type. You're a young whippersnapper. You're a young whippersnapper. A hot dogger. You're a hot dogger. I'm like, man, I can't get in the locker room. So I know your type. When I sit down and I talk with you, or I know your type. I know you. All right. Don't be crying about the time now. So I need to give y'all something now. It's been an hour, right? I ain't stopping. If you're crying, just get off. It's too long. You get to calling around telling people he on there too long. Then you call around, he ain't on there long enough. All right, Mr. Bennett, let's go. Optimism. One thing that moves us forward is hope. If there is no hope, there is no action, and thus no results. I love how I had a partner of mine used to say all the time. He said, I can't help you, but I can hope you. I said, you can hope them? Yeah. I can hope you. So hope. There is no action. Without hope, there is no action, and thus no results. Mentally strong people believe in themselves and at the same time believe in faith. The failure to see hope in everything you do will make you fail before you even try. The failure to see hope in everything you do will make you fail before you even try. I can hope you. I can hope. He said, I can't make them do what they can do, but I can hope them. Okay. Embrace uncertainty is the next one. Most folks or most people want to predict the future. Now, and safety are necessities. No, certainty and safety are the necessities since the evolution of mankind. But no one can predict the future with 100%, which means there will always be uncertainty. Always be uncertain. Weak people flee from it, and mentally strong people embrace it. That's why most people don't get involved in a business like ours. It's too much uncertainty for them. See, they used to getting, their check every week or every 2 months or once a month, or however they get it, they're used to that. And so when you say, well, this is how you get paid, this is how you make money, it's like, that's why after the second week or third week, people start falling off. Some of them fall off right away, but they start falling off because now they're thinking in their mind, I put forth all this work. I ain't get no check. I put forth all this work. I ain't get no check. Because they're used to getting a check. That's that certainty that they have. The check is going to be there. Even though a lot of companies could be that close to shutting down, they're trying to get some money in to make payroll. It could be that close or that close. And they hustling behind the scenes. That's how a lot of businesses are. I was with a guy, I can't say his name because he would, people know him. He has a large business. It's a media business. And him and I are friends. I've been knowing him since really college, because my friends that went to Jackson State with me, when we came to Atlanta, on spring break, they knew him. And so I met him then. But then 10 years later, when I came to Atlanta, I ran across him again. And me and him are probably more close now than they are, because they all in different states, but we both in Atlanta. But I was with him, and in his office, secretary came in there, and she was telling him that, we didn't get that long. He's like, what? he was saying to her, how are we gonna make payroll? This was Thursday, and I think payroll was Monday. He got a lot of employees. I said, let me go. You need to handle your business. I'm gonna get out. He said, all right. I guess he got on the phone, started hustling, making calls, and he told me that he got the money on Saturday. I said, how you get it on Saturday? Long story, man. He said, I had to go get it. But you went to somebody's house, or how did you get the money? He said, I got it. And he made payroll. It's companies like that where you think you on a certainty program. You know your check gonna be there. That's what people say. Well, I know my check gonna be here. Okay. I'm sure one day it didn't. And then the next week it did. And then they shut down. So thinking that it's certain, you can think that all you want. But it's not. But that's what people look for when they come in our business. They want, man, I ain't no check. I was working. You were working. Okay. So our business is kind of like the professional sports industry, like the NFL, NBA. You got to have results. Just working on, you got to get results. I mean, you have to work to get results, but that's another step. You working, then results. That's why they fire those coaches so fast, because they're not getting results. They love them. Great coaches, great family. And, they don't have to worry about anything because they're going to get another job anyway. Somebody else going to hire. That's what happens. They got that little circle of coaching trees. Little circle of coaching. Yeah. But everything is really uncertainty because we just don't know. Even with our goals and dreams and our vision board. Okay. We see ourselves. That's why they always say, just visualize it. Don't concern yourself with where the money's going to come from. Because if you do that and you're in a situation where you really don't have any money, you're going to be thinking, dang, this ain't going to work. Because you don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know what's going to happen to you. There's an uncertainty there with the vision boards. You got to look at them, though. You just got to think about it and do your affirmations. And like I'm looking at mine on the wall here. You got to think about it. Say your affirmations, and you don't know where it's going to come from. But it's going to come. Once you see it in your mind's eye, that means that you really got it. You really got this thing in your mind's eye. Not looking at it a couple of times, but you're seeing it every day in your mind's eye. Once it's in your mind's eye, then it's going to come to fruition. But it has to be there first. It has to be there. Not saying, okay, I looked at this thing for a day or two, or for a year, or for 6 months, or for 2 years. It's got to be in there. It's got to be, once it's there, what they say, once you believe and achieve, you can conceive. Is it conceive? No, once you believe, conceive, then you can achieve. So, receive. So I'm taking achieve out and putting receive in there. Okay. Last one. Willingness to learn and expand. Should be coachability, but willingness to learn and expand. Curiosity and the willingness to figure things out make people stronger mentally. Read, Read. 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 Did I say read? Read. Read. Experiment, learn, reflect. Read, experiment, learn, reflect. I always say when you read something, especially if it's powerful to you, call somebody you know and say, look at here, man, check this out. This is what I just read in the book. Now, this is my thoughts on it. What you think about what you think about what I just said? Now, this is a way for you to find out what kind of friends you have. Because if they say, I don't know, I'm watching Power. You should put that person on the list. Somebody called me with that, and I say, read it again, let me hear it. Then we're gonna talk about it. And I got friends like that we're gonna talk about it. I don't know anybody, I say just in my top 10 that I could call and do that. First thing they're gonna say is, what's the name of the book? I want to get it. I'm like, no, I ain't telling you. People will Google. They will remember 3 or 4 lines from that and then go Google it and call me back. Oh, that's that book, Winning. I'm like, really? Now, you could be a Google king or queen, but now you still got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing what it is. But that's the way you can find out about your people. Willingness to learn and expand. And, if that person says, I don't know. So he says, again, I believe mental toughness can be learned. Although I don't have a defined step-by-step plan to improve your mental strengths right now, I'll do some research, he says, and come back and put it together. He said, but I'm going to come back with some more tips that he said that'll help him with this, help you with the mental stuff. So I'm always scrolling those ink, and it's 3 websites, business sites I go to, and I'm just went blank on the other 2, but I'll tell you about them so you can go to them if you want to. But that's it, folks. That's all she wrote today. That's all she wrote. The pen, I found it. Dang. I found it, yes. Oh, the pen and the pencil broke. That's all she wrote. Pen and the pencil broke. We out of here. Bye.